In a previous video, we actually created this tiger cartoon character. Now in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through some animation techniques. Now the whole reason why we created a segmented character was so that it would be easier for us to move different parts of the body to create animations. And then also in this video I'll show you how to use the bone tool to make simpler or more realistic type of or easier animation motions. So the first thing we want to do is we'll look at the left leg here, and we can zoom in to like 200, and you'll see there's this point right here called the transformation point. Okay, so if we have it in our transform tool, you have a transformation point. Now if I rotate this now, you'll see that's the center point, this transformation point. So if I actually move this point all the way up to the top, now you'll see the leg kicks back and forth off that point. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to move these transformation points. And also, in order to create our nice smooth animations, these images that we drew, these shapes, we're going to want to convert into a symbol. Right? So we can convert it into different symbols. We can convert them into buttons or graphic images or movie clips, but we'll convert these into movie clips. And the registration point is if we add codes where the center point of these movie clips will be. So we can have the top left corner or the bottom right corner or the center. Center is a good point. Also, top left corner is a pretty good point to use as registration points. So this is our left leg. So we'll just call that the left leg. We'll call it left underscore leg. And now this is a movie clip. And once again, we have our transformation point in the movie clip. So we'll move that up there and pin that up top, right where we want it. So we'll go through and we'll set all of these. So there was a left leg. Let's go into our right leg now, and we'll convert that to a symbol, movie clip, right underscore leg, and we can pull this point up to where we want it right there. And now that leg has a kick to it. Let's look at let's move this to 150. So we can look at our left arm. We want to unlock that, lock up our right leg, left arm, unlock it, convert it to a movie clip, left underscore arm, move our transformation point up there so that it swings where it would be attached, and lock that up, unlock the right arm, and convert this to a movie clip. Right underscore arm. Move our transformation point right there. We'll rotate around that point now. Lock that up. Let's look at our eyes. We will. Something else I didn't show you was we can convert it to a symbol by using using our modify, convert to symbol, the same thing. So here's our eyes, the same thing as using the right click, and this would be our eyes. Oops. And if we look at this, that's pretty good. Something else we can do though is we can just move it down a little bit, right about there, and that makes it a little better swivel on it. And then the last thing we're going to want to do is our body. So we'll convert this to a symbol. Body. And let's go with the 100% see. So let's see. Let's put this more down towards the hips. So it rotates around that point. Alright, so now that we have all these, we convert them all to symbols. One thing we don't need is we don't need this image that we use to draw our we use it to draw our character, our cartoon character. So we can actually just come up here and you can hide it while you're working, but we can just delete it all together. So we can get rid of delete this layer, and now that's gone. So we don't have to worry about that because we won't be using that much anymore anyways. So nice thing about this is we have all our body parts, and we can unlock them. And here's something else. So now we have our library. We have all these movie clips. We had brought these images in. They remain, even though I deleted that layer, they remain in our library of things that we used for this particular activity. But we also have our movie clips that we created with the center point registration point on them, where it would be landed. So we can see all these. All right, so let's go ahead and transform this, and we can place that right there, and we can bring this guy up, and we can see by our layers, if we put it above the body, then it'll stick over it, but if we put it below the body, it'll be behind the body, and that's kind of the image we're looking for. Alright, so we can put this leg here and that leg there. So now we have a nice cartoon character going on here. And what we want to do, we want to move his eyes down to his head, is we want to create some type of animation. So let's come out to 20 and let's insert frames, or insert keyframes. Actually, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, and then let's go from 20 to 40 and do the same thing there. Insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe, insert keyframe. So what we have going on here is these positions is in a specific keyframe, we want our final keyframe to be the same as our initial keyframe. Right now our keyframes are the same all throughout it. But if I go in and I change this keyframe here for this leg, I could transform it so it was at this point, and I can move it back like this. So now we went from here to here, here to here, and I could put in a motion tween classic tween, and now what you'll see is it has a move. Instead of just going from one point to another, it has a moves all in between. All right, so and then I could put in another motion tween, and now it goes back. So it goes from original point and back again. All right, so this isn't really giving me a full flow there. So I'll probably end up moving these objects back and forth at different points. So let's get rid of these motion tweens, and then let's change our frame. So remove tween and remove tween, and let's look what a full cycle of motion might be like. All right, so a full cycle of motion would probably be that starting in our first frame, his leg may be all the way back, and starting in the leg's first frame, he might be all the way frontwards like this. Maybe even a little bit more, a little more exaggerated, something like this. And with our arms, this looks like a good starting swing motion that we have here. But for the final motion, let's take that arm and let's swing it all the way like this. That looks good. And let's take this arm in his final motion here, and let's swing it all the way in the back. All right, so our arms look pretty good. We'll do a insert classic tween here, and then insert classic tween there, and insert classic tween here, and insert classic tween there, and so we don't have his legs going back and forth yet, but we do have his arms swinging back and forth. And we have his right leg is here, and what we might want to do is we might want to bring it out that way, and then his left leg is here, and what we might want to do is bring it out that way, right? And we could clean things up a little bit later, but this is just so we get the idea of our animation. Create tween, create tween, create motion tween. Alright, so accidentally deleted. Edit, undo, edit, undo. Alright, so let's this is what's happening, and we hit Control, and now we're going to test our movie, and we'll test it in Flash and see what our image looks like. All right, so we have the arms swinging, we have the legs swinging back and forth. We do have this little click in here, and that's because we need to change our last cycle so it begins just like our first cycle. But something that I see is that I want to adjust the body a little bit, and then I want to adjust the body down here on the legs a little bit. And something we can do very easily with that is just to do exactly that. Just adjust the body. So I can bring the body down and back. You don't want to be down too far. something like that. Oh, down a little bit more. Something like that. And this kind of solves a little bit of our problem. We could extend this leg up a little farther. And then we could do the same thing with our body motion tween. Is come up here and create a classic tween. So we see that the body actually moves in the same way. But now we see something changing with the eyes. We want the eyes to move a little bit. So let's move our eyes back and down. And then we could create a tween there. So now our eyes follow too, going back and forth. Something with our legs, we had moved them from previous positions. So I'm going to remove the tweens for both our legs. Remove the tweens. And I'm going to copy the first frame. I'm going to copy this frame. And now I'm going to paste that frame. And I'm going to come over to this leg. I'm going to copy this frame. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste this frame. So it ends exactly as it started with. And then I'm going to insert all these tweens like we had. Create tween. Create tween. Create tween. All right, now let's test out. Control, test movie, and Flash Player. All right, so we have a little bit of a sway. The eyeballs moving, everything moves, and we have a nice walk cycle taking place here, using just simple classic tween animations. So that was pretty easy, and you could modify this if you wanted to clean up the legs or move them more towards the center of his body so that they don't come out on the side. You can do any of that. All right, so there you go. There's a simple animation. Now that we saw how to make a simple animation using a segmented character, what I'm going to show you now is how to create a character animation that is slightly more modified. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. Cut. And in my library, I have the original drawing I just got rid of, and I also have this drawing. So I'm going to place that on there, and I'm going to just bring it down so that it's modified, or it's at about the same position. So what you see here is we're gonna break up our original character into more layers and more parts, where we have left hand, right hand, we have a forearm, biceps, a thigh, calf, and foot. All right, the eyes and the body are going to stay the same, even though we can modify that more extensively. And there's some whiskers on there. We don't really have to worry about the whiskers if we don't want to. And this is simple enough procedure to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break this down, and we can do that simply by pulling this apart in such a way. So that's just what we'll do. We'll bring in these pieces, and if you see you have a problem because other body parts are getting in the way, we can lock the body part. We could lock the legs so that they don't get in our way, and then we use our select tool, and we break it up just about where we want it. So it looks like that. All right, so now we have our different arms, and we'll create different layers for these so that we have our own tweens in there. And we'll create a simple animation. I'll show you how to create a simple animation like we did before with the extended parts. But then I'm going to show you what's new with Adobe Flash is this bone tool. I'm going to show you how to apply that to make easily use your animations as you go through there. So we have this arm done, and then I'll lock that right arm, and we want our left arm open. We can lock the eyes because we're not going to use those, so we're going to move our image. So now we're in our left arm. We're going to do the same thing there that we did. We're going to come over here and we're going to just start ripping it apart, moving it out to the side. All right, so we've selected it. We've separated them apart. So let's lock our left arm. Let's look at our right leg, and we're going to break this apart right at the knee here. Move it way over here, and bring this down a little too far. All right, and then the last thing we have is the foot. So we have our legs over here. Lock this one, go to our left leg, and we do the same thing. All right, so we have all our pieces here. All right. Oh, and then this was split up into a right eye and a left eye, but we're not going to do that right now because that's not really going to add much effect. We could, if we want to create an animation that shows eyes moving different directions, or one eyebrow going up or the other one going down, then we would do that later. But at this time, I just want to show you how the bone tool can be used. And how to create a smoother animation or more realistic type animation from what you have. So we're going to create our layers. So we have our left leg, and we add 2 layers there. So we have our left leg will become our left thigh, calf, and our left foot. So these are our 3 parts. So the thigh is going to stay here. We're going to take our calf, we're going to cut. We're going to go into this square. We're going to paste in place so it's back where we left it. Then we're going to take our foot and cut. We're going to put that right where we want it. Paste in place. And then we're going to lock these 3. Those are all locked. And then we're going to look at our left arm. We're going to open that up. And we're going to add 2 more layers there. And we'll keep the upper one. So cut this. Paste in place. We're going to call that the left F arm. This is the left bicep. We take our hand out. Cut. Paste in place. And this one is our left hand. We'll lock it up. Then we'll go over to our right arm, add 2 more layers. And we'll do the same thing. Cut. Oops. Paste in place. We'll call this our right forearm. Cut that. Paste in place. Call this our right hand. We'll change this to our right bicep. Alright. So last thing we have is our right leg. Let's lock this up. Unlock that. Here's our right leg. Add a couple more layers. And the top is our right thigh. This is going to be our right calf. This is going to be our right foot. Now I want to cut it. Cut. Pick the layer you want it in. Paste in place. Take our foot. Cut. Put in the layer you want it in. Paste in place. Alright, so now let's go back to our image. And let's unlock our eyes. Leave those there for now. Let's go through and unlock everything so we can move this stuff right where we want it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to end up making these all movie clips. So we're going to come in here, we're going to highlight this, and we're going to convert to symbol, or you can come up to our we can convert to symbol using modify or F8. We can just click on F8 to do this, and we're going to make this a movie clip, and we'll use a center registration point, and we'll call this this is our right foot. Right foot. Not that it makes a difference, but I'm not gonna use any uppercase with that. and we're going to call this, I'm going to right click, convert to symbol, and we're going to call this right calf. Okay, I'm going to call this convert to symbol, right thigh. Okay, we're going to call this, whoops, let's get rid of the image. Let's lock the body. Hold the eyes up. Since I have the eyes highlighted, let's convert that to a movie clip. Eyes. I'll lock it up afterwards, and then I'll highlight the body, convert to movie clip, body, hit OK, lock that up. Alright, so this is our right bicep, so we'll convert to symbol, right bicep. OK. Convert to symbol, right forearm. OK. Convert to symbol, right hand. OK. Convert the symbol, left hand. OK. Convert the symbol, left forearm. OK. Convert the symbol, left bicep. OK. Convert the symbol, left foot. OK. Convert the symbol, left calf. OK. Convert the symbol, left thigh. Okay. So we have everything here is now converted to movie clips. And we can place them right back over the images. We don't have to do anything fancy with that. Just so we see how we have our guy segmented, our tiger. And like I said, we could easily have made a right eye and a left eye, but I'm not going to concern myself with those animations right now. Alright, so that is not my concern. So we have all these pieces broken up, and we will put them together like we did last time, where we layer these. So let's move this to 100%, and let's take a look at alright, so we want this one over that one, we want this one over that one. Very good. And this one over that one, this one over that one. Very good. This one over that one, this one over that one. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, so all our pieces are in good locations. Body's locked, so we can take this guy and we can use the free transform tool. And remember, this is our transformation point. So what we have here is, if I take this point and I put it up here, then you'll see our whole image rotates around that point. And that's kind of what we want to happen here. Right? Each one of these has a transformation point. So if I just highlight these two, this has a transformation point. And if I put that there, then you'll see this highlights around it. And if I just select this, this has a transformation point. If I put that there, you'll see this moves back and forth. Once again, we're not going to worry about this thing. I could easily go into this and pull that out in such a way that that it blends a lot better. It shows more curvature, so that when I come back over here and pull this, it doesn't look as bad as having a sample part there. But I'm not gonna concern myself with that right now. That's not really what I'm focusing on. Just focusing on showing you that we can create simple animations by moving this free transform tool into positions and rotating it. This is what we did in the last video to make our simple animations. But what I'm going to be doing after I put this guy together is I will be showing you how to use the bone tool to create something a little more easier way to modify these. All right. This one too. Move this over, this one over a little bit. Not that it makes that much difference. Oh, I locked it. Silly me. Alright, so here's our transform tool. And this has the whole leg going. Once again, we can put that at all the different points. Alright. Transform tool. Gives us a nice kick. Transformation tool. Point. Alright. There, that's good. Alright, so we have this guy put together. We do not need to see this image anymore. We can create our animations just like we did before, only we have more flex and bend when we do it. So The next thing I'm going to be doing is showing you how to use the bone tool. Now that we have our segmented body parts for animation, I showed you we could go through our classic tweening method where we move each of these, we create multiple layers or extend our frames out through our multiple layers, and then create a motion tween for each of our body parts, and how to use the transformation tool and the uh, transformation pivot point, moving this around so we can move things. But what I'm going to show you is an easier way now with Flash Creative Suites 4 and 5 and 6 is coming out. We have our bone tool. If you click on the bone tool, you can pick any movie clip item. So I'm going to pick right here, and what you do is you left click and then drag, and you'll see that what's happening here is you're going to attach, you're going to create like a skeleton image. So this says that I can't join to anything but a movie clip. But if I go to the different parts, you'll see the plus sign, and the plus sign, as soon as you see the plus sign, this allows, even though you can't see the movie clip back there, this allows it to join to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit larger, 100%. I'll come back here and pick my center point, and I want to join the eyes here. And now that the eyes are joined, we can keep coming out from this point. And if I have difficulty, alright, so here's a plus, I can't join to that same movie clip that I started on. If I have difficulty finding the point that I'd like this joint to be, this pivot point or joint to be here, I can always increase the size and pull it out. So now I want it to be, there's a plus sign. No, I can't do it. Yes, I can. So I can put the point there, and then I can extend this point out here, and then you see the point. I can do the plus sign here, but I think I want to put it a little bit farther in, right about there. And then I pull this out. Here's a plus sign, so right there is in between the two lines. So now you can see that was put there. Oops, didn't want to do that. Plus sign here and here. And I'll pull this down. Here. Pull this down. Here. And then extend out my legs right there. And I'll put this down to about there. There. And right about there. Go back to 5%. Alright, so now you can see this. I have a skeleton, a framework put through here. And you'll see what happened was all of these body parts were now put into an armature layer. And this is where all our animation is going to take place. And you can extend it, add in keyframes, and extend it out as far as you want. All of these body parts are actually have all been used. Now my image layer for this back part here, I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't want to use that for anything anymore. That was just for your demonstration. So I'll delete that layer. That's gone. And I can actually get rid of all these layers because now there's nothing in them anymore. Remove. Get rid of all these. Delete layers. Delete layers. Delete layers. So we only have one layer now. And if we go to our select tool, we'll see we can all these body parts are put together. But here's something interesting. Look at what's going on with this arm. All right, we don't want that to happen. All right, we don't want our eyes to swing around in this. So something we can do to adjust this, we put our eyes where we'd like them to be situated, which is right there. We put our arms right where we'd like them to be situated, which is pretty much straight out. All right, and put our legs. Legs were in good spots where we want them to be situated. And then we pick our center point, and this is our rotation, our joint rotation. So if enable means it can rotate around the center. If we get rid of that, now you'll see that our eyes, this cannot rotate around this point anymore. All right, our arms are stuck here, and they're stuck here, and our legs are stuck there. Want to fix our foot like this. That foot's like that. So everything's stuck. And of course, just like with any other animation, we could adjust this so that it didn't look as bad when it was moving around from side to side. So let's look at some other things we can do now. If I zoom in to 200, all right. So let's look at this arm. So our arm actually looks like a good rotation here, but if we look at our elbow, now we don't want our elbow to swing around too much. So let's see what we can do here. We have this point. Oops, to this point, and we can constrain how far it moves. So now we have a perpendicular angle here, and if we move this, our elbow will only move in this direction, right? But what we want to do is we want to do our minimum. Let's do it minus 100. So now we've adjusted it so that, and this was max was 30. Let's move it to 50. And then click anywhere. You'll see this extended this out farther, and this extends it this way. So now when we look at this, all right, our arm can only go up that, our elbow can only bend slightly up this way, but we can make a full angle in this way. All right, we could adjust this to anything we wanted, but this gives it, if we're moving things around, not that it's necessary, but it allows us to have more realistic motion, so that it doesn't look like the leg breaks or something like that. We could do that with any one of these. Oops. So yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. All right, so we put in our constraint, and we're going to want this to go back pretty far. So let's do minus 150. Backspace. 150, that's fine. All right, so this is a little ridiculous. So minus 50 and plus 200. So remember we have 360 degrees going around in a circle here. All right, so our leg can go all the way up here. That's too far. We want it to be right around here. So that'd probably be 150. Let's do 120. Yeah, 120. Let's do 100. And we're going to do minus 50. Alright, so you can go back here, move this to minus 20. Alright, so wherever this point is, it extends it out a little bit. Let's do minus 50. Minus 40. Alright. Alright, so that looks good. So here's our leg can swing back this far. It can go forward this far. Alright. Go back to 75. Like I said, that's not truly necessary. So let's go out to 100 here. Insert frame, and what we'll see is here's our original frame, and if we go to frame 10 and we create a pose there, work with the feet. Oops. There we go. Yeah, fix this foot. We'll see what happens is this gets moved back and forth like this. They all get moved in the same cycle, and they give us just like that classic tween look. Also, we can do insert pose. We can move things back. And you see these going on like this. We can move our eyes, and when you move it somewhere and do this, now that just goes back and forth because we had it this pose, we had it that pose. So you can just pick any other frame and you start moving things, and the animation just keeps going by itself. And then we can do control test movie, and you could see these things moving, and you could obviously adjust them any way you wanted to. And that's about it for that animation. So there's just about anything you need to know about creating character animations, whether it's with classic tweens or using the bone tool.